Hey everyone. Many people have done tributes and done homages to Ozzy Osbourne in many different ways. I even did. I even did so on the Facebook page for this group by sharing posts from other bands. I thought, though, I'd like to do at least one video here, just talking about Ozzy Osbourne and what Ozzy Osbourne meant to me. He passed away, I believe, on the 22nd of July, and it's been almost 2 weeks since that happened. So it's been it's almost 2 weeks now, and yeah, no, it's rough. It's still rough. Um, I don't think it won't be ever not rough for people really into rock and roll, metal music, um, especially ones that know more about the history, about the details, and just really like that kind of vibe of Black Sabbath and of Ozzy Osbourne and what the various things he done. If you know about him and some of his music, I'm sure you appreciate some of his work. I mean, he had very popular songs like Crazy Train, for example. I mean, like, even if you're not like a rock and roll fan or a metal fan, like there's a chance you probably know about Crazy Train. And even if you Ozzy Osbourne's one of the people you probably would know of by name. Even if you're not really, if you don't even don't like listen to the music and stuff. So he definitely made a big impact on people, on the world. In my opinion, one of the things that I really appreciate about him is that from the things I do know about him he was always willing to bring happiness to people's lives, or entertainment to people's lives. Not always, but he was willing to do that. He was willing to put himself out there and willing to just be himself in a way, or to express himself, or to just keep on pushing. Like to not give up to some degree. I think we all have our moments in life where we want to just kind of say screw it, like I'm done with all this, or want to give up and stuff like that. But it's in those moments where you have to really decide what is it that you want to do with your life, with your time that you have. And I think Ozzy definitely was like, this is what I still want to do with my life. Like when he went to the solo career, then went back and forth between there and Black Sabbath. Was willing to give it a shot. Was willing to give it a shot with the reality TV show. And I say this all, by the way, as not the biggest fan of Ozzy, not the biggest super fan, and that doesn't mean I didn't like him again. I did like the stuff I have listened to from him. He just happened to be the one. He just happened to be someone I didn't listen to his whole discography, or a lot of it, but I have listened to a decent amount of songs, in my opinion, at least a dozen. I would say about a dozen, yeah, half a dozen to a dozen. Part of that is from just being on the internet, hearing it, just typing his name from years ago, like when I was in high school, and part of it is just when I go to work and I decide to have FM radio on. The FM stations play the rock stations have played some of his work for sure. They definitely played a lot more of it when he passed away. Even songs I didn't know that you could even play on those FM stations, which makes me also think to myself so wait a minute, you could play more songs than you normally play. Like, why don't you do that? I don't fully know the legality of all that when it comes to the FM radio stations, but I just thought it was interesting. Like, wait a minute, you can actually play a little bit more. You can play certain songs that you don't normally play. So why don't you play more songs, or a bigger variety of songs more often? But there's probably a reason to that I don't fully know. But whatever. The point is that FM radio also introduced me to other songs from Ozzy that I may not have listened to and stuff like that. But yeah, man. I mean, one of the things about Ozzy that was kind of like a running joke for many years is how he managed to not die sooner. Basically, it was a running joke that he had alcohol issues or issues with drugs, and it was amazing he lived as far as he did, which is pretty amazing, which is pretty awesome. I mean, I'm glad he lived to as long as he did live, and just to watch that video of his from when he just 2 weeks before he even passed away, earlier in July, when he's performing at the concert in Birmingham, it was just emotional to watch that. Just to see that man, he's still trying to give it his all. He's still trying to be out there. It's that's something that I personally would love to still do for the rest of my life as well. Just to be able to do things like that, or just to, you know, have the opportunity to continue to be doing things that I want to do in my life. And I'm thankful that I have that opportunity right now to some degree. For instance, I have this organization here, the Rock and Metal Disciples, which I haven't been really working a whole lot on, but like unfortunately with Ozzy's passing, it's a reminder to continue working on that and continue working on other projects I do, which includes Twilight City Studios, it includes West Productions 100, it includes working with a local theater company in Chicago called Otherworld Theater. I've enjoyed helping them out a lot. It's actually made me more appreciative of theatrical performances, including musically theatrical performances, and I include concerts as part of that. Concerts can be very theatrical, and I think Ozzy was definitely someone who understood that as well, and knew how to give a good show at times to people. There's the iconic photo from the Chicagoland area, which I didn't know, by the way, was from the Chicagoland area, where he holds up Randy Rhoads, and turns out that photo was actually from a concert in Rosemont, Illinois, which I knew about that photo for years and years and years, and then apparently I read online it's from a concert in Rosemont, Illinois, and I'm like, oh wow, like I'm just like, wow, like that's a lot closer to me than I thought it would be. I just assumed it could be, anywhere, but if I had to guess where that photo would have been, probably been like, maybe California, New York, or the UK, or somewhere like that. But like, to see it was in the Chicagoland area, it's pretty awesome. Yeah. And I was also reminded, because I'm a big fan of bands like Slipknot and other like bands from the late 90s, early 2000s, I was reminded of how much of an impact Ozzy made on those bands as well, with things like Ozfest. And honestly, Ozfest slipped my mind. I'm like, oh, yes, right, Ozfest was a thing, and I assume he put that all together because it's in his name, Ozfest. You had bands like System of a Down, and Slipknot, and other bands where Ozfest like really promoted those bands and really got them exposure and stuff like that, and really helped them to develop their careers. So Ozzy Osbourne, he really was willing to put it out there and share the wealth, and I'm sure, well, maybe share the wealth to some degree, I guess, but share the love, share the music, share the experience with people, just have people come together and stuff like that. And it's been 5 years since the pandemic started, basically, and things I feel like have changed for sure. It feels harder to go out for me sometimes. It feels harder to just go out in general, honestly. On top of that, you got the rising costs of things, at least in the United States you do. You got inflation, and just from reading other news reports, it seems like that's just a thing happening around the world in general, to be quite honest. There might be some exceptions, but like, it seems like the cost of things have gone up. And that can make it difficult for some people to even go out and have a good time, because, it just costs money to go out and have a good time. And includes concerts and stuff, and just, I don't know, just the way things are in the world these days, it just feels very, very rough in my opinion. But, I try to get out there. I try to have a good time. Like I said, help out with a theater company. But I'm reminded about what Ozzy did, because when I'm down sometimes, when I'm feeling down, when I'm feeling exhausted, like even today, I'm dealing with a headache. I've been feeling burnt out today. I've been feeling just run down. I've been feeling just like, just moments of frustration, moments of just regret, I guess, frustration. I try to like remind myself, because of people like Ozzy and other people, just like to continue to do things that you enjoy doing, and to continue working on things that you want to work on, And I'd say this as someone doing this in my free time right now, where my free time feels very limited, feels very constrained. And so that's why I'm thankful to have the time I do have, and try to put it to use, and to try and make videos like this and just make content like this, because I enjoy doing this. And if I could do this full time, I would, but I just can't do that right now. So I try to just do this when I can, basically. Do my own promotional content, do my own content in general. I mean, like, promote when I can, stuff like that. So again, just seeing how Ozzy lived his life, it's a reminder to me. I like to believe it's a reminder to many people to enjoy life, to stand up for what you want to believe in, and not just what you believe in, but also stand up for what you want to do. If you want to be in a band, like a metal band, go ahead and be in a metal band. Do it for the passion. Do it because that's what Ozzy did it for. He did it partly for the passion, and sure, he possibly did it for the money too. But if someone just does something just for the money, in my opinion, I've learned in my experience, they're not going to enjoy it in my opinion as much as like someone like Ozzy or other people will, And like the money to me is just like a bonus. But if you can find something that you still genuinely enjoy passionately doing, then it makes it worthwhile. I mean, like last night, I was helping out with the Otherworld Theater, filming their shows and streaming them to the YouTube channel and to other social media. And like there were moments even yesterday where I was just feeling burned out, because I was running errands yesterday. And then it's like, damn, I got to get over to the theater. But like then I get over there and it's like, it feels good. It feels good to get over there. It feels good to put on a show and to record the show and to put out there for the world to see, so that it's not just like confined to that one space. It's like watching a concert online. Yeah, sure. There's a different experience being at a concert versus watching a concert online or at home or whatever. But at least it's out. At least it's being recorded. At least it's being shared with. Because it's not like a movie. It's not just gonna come back again. It's like, no, it's like that's happening right then and there, and you just gotta like. I think it's good to record those moments, and so that's what we do, and it's what other people do as well. Ozzy Osbourne definitely is a reminder to me, is a motivation for me, is a reminder for me to do that stuff, to just try to do the best you can with whatever you got, I'm sure they didn't always start out with the best equipment. Tony Iommi injured himself while working a job. He injured his fingers, and Tony Iommi didn't let that stop him from playing guitar. So I'm thankful that also I got to just see on video them performing their concert 2 weeks before it ended. I'm thankful and grateful that those 4 people got to from Black Sabbath got to perform the last concert together. Really shared the experience in the experience with the crowd, the experience with others, and got to just celebrate life and celebrate the joy and just the joy that brought people together and brought them together, and the crowd singing. It just makes me very emotional just thinking about it right now. He's up there trying to sing the songs, and especially when you hear like the song Mama, I'm Coming Home, songs like that. And I could go on and on for a while. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll make some tribute videos to Ozzy Osbourne. I don't know for certain if I'm going to do that, but I would try and do some of that stuff. And just other videos in general for this channel and for the other channels. I do enjoy doing this kind of stuff, and that's hopefully why I'm trying to do it more often. Despite the struggles, despite everything else, if you want to support me, if you want to support Rock and Metal Disciples, you can do it for free. Just subscribe to the different social media channels and share it around with others. Share the channel around with others because that helps. Even just sharing stuff for free helps. Like people. And I'm guilty of this too. They'll be like, oh, but it doesn't feel like good enough, or it doesn't feel like I'm compensating enough, just by word of mouth or by saying something for free. And it's like, well, don't worry about that. It's all good. Like it shows that you care, and it shows that we all can, hang out and have a good time here with this kind of stuff. And also shows it does show appreciation, in my opinion. Again, don't worry about, that you can't support financially. This organization is a long way off from that even being a thing right now to begin with. So, again, just support organically. If you want to support, feel free to check out previous videos to this one. And we'll try and trying to work out the details over the next over the next period of time. Over a period of time, I'm not sure exactly when that's going to be, but I'm really trying to get back. I'm really trying to like get into the swing of things again, like I did many years ago. Um, Unfortunately, I will say that Ozzy Osbourne's passing has become partly a motivator for me. Um, I did dread the idea of him passing away because I knew it was going to happen eventually. Um, it's kind of like again when I brought up the running jokes thing again. It's kind of like, he had so many. It just seems people seem amazed that he lived as long as he did, and it's like, yeah, well, it's like kind of like that, kind of like, well, you kind of. I think the second part to that wasn't really mentioned by some or few is he's still living, or like he hasn't passed away yet. Therefore, like I still want him to keep living on and on for a while. 76, he could have been 86 or 96. But it was his time, and again, I'm grateful that I grew up again listening to him and just enjoying his work and enjoying other stuff from him. And whatever I haven't checked out yet, maybe I will check it out through wherever, YouTube, Spotify, or other platforms. Um, just enjoy what you just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Um, Thanks again for tuning into this video right here. This commemoration tribute video. I appreciate you watching. It's not a fancy video. It's not the most well put together, well made video, but like I think it's important for me to just get this out there because it's been held up in me for a while, for almost 2 weeks now. Again, I could go on and on. I'll just say one more thing, which I thought was really something wholesome in a way. When I was driving home from work the day he passed away, the rock radio station had was playing all Ozzy Osbourne or Black Sabbath music, and as I was driving home, it was cloudy, but there was the sunlight was coming through the clouds in multiple areas when I was driving home, and so just hearing this music playing, knowing he passed away, and looking up in the sky and just seeing, the light coming through the clouds, it really hit home there. Just to see that really felt very, very wholesome, and felt very emotional. Just to see the sunlight coming through the clouds, like rays of sunlight coming through the clouds, as you listen to this and you honoring him and commemorating him, and I want to add that to this homage right here, to this tribute. Again, it was a good feeling. It was a very emotional feeling to feel that, just the weight of that, just it was a lot. Yeah. So, I hope this brings some joy or some emotion to you as well, and feel free to comment a story or your own feelings about Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath. If you got a story about Ozzy Osbourne, leave in the comment section. If you got a story about Black Sabbath, leave in the comment section. Or you just want to just other kinds of comments about rock and metal music, or other things like maybe like the impact on bands like Slipknot and Metallica and other bands. I've seen tributes from Sabaton, from Amon Amarth, and from other bands as well, Judas Priest. So yeah, they really made an influence and difference on people's lives. They brought a lot of happiness and joy to people's lives. And, that's why we just got to keep rocking out, because that's what Ozzy wanted to do. So let's just keep rocking out, people. Just keep rocking out.